Now, I have to be conclusive proof of this theory. I'm going to use this chair because I'm married so fucking far up. Okay, let's see. Remember where this hand is? That's how far up I'm married. And I still can't wrap my head around it, so let me set the scene for you just a little bit. Let me take you all the way back to the year 2000, when my wife Megan and I met doing a play in Los Angeles. Megan had just finished the first 2 seasons of the Will and Grace television program. You're goddamn right about that. Now, in the year 2000, television was created by companies called networks, and they would make packages of episodes they called seasons. Trust me, look it up. Each season generally consisted of 24 episodes. So she had finished the first 48 episodes of Will and Grace, or the equivalent of 8 seasons of Aziz's show. Right? It's a crazily different, quantifiable time. So across these first 2 seasons, Will and Grace they'd gone through the quickening of the Highlander, where like they had become the stag and run across the beach with Sean Connery, and the world was like, holy shit, you are the greatest. And so they had become the celebrated comedy legends we know them to be. Megan, in fact, was about to win her first Emmy a few months after we met. I was living beneath my friend's house in a dirt and stone space in exchange for turning it into a space that could be inhabited by a civilized human who you could then get to pay rent. The entire space was dirt with foundation walls. I could urinate flamboyantly and freely. Like I'd put on music to pee too. I had all my moves. And the next morning you could not discern that it had taken place. That was the only good thing about living there. So Megan and I were at very different places when it comes to personal hygiene, if nothing else, when we met. But my secret was I was also working for this theater company. They had bought a warehouse and were building a theater into this warehouse. So I was working for them as a carpenter. And the day that Megan and I met, the first day of rehearsal, I had been there working for 8 hours, swinging a hammer. So when we first encountered each other, I was covered in a patina of sweat and sawdust and satisfaction. I was wearing a tool belt. And so I can't, this is my best speculative guess. I can only imagine that whatever glow was coming off of my ursine features because I had just built a stage, had to somehow sway her. And so combining that knowledge and trying to justify it with the experience of seeing myself in a mirror, it's just really hard to reconcile. And so I said to my friend, of course you should go to fucking Bake Amazing Cookies, because guess who's not coming to Bake Amazing Cookies? Married people. It's gonna be single people, either out for fun, baking freaks, but probably people looking for romance. You're gonna be in some cool room that's going to be warm and thickly redolent of baking cookies. Even if you strike out and don't find romance, the worst case scenario is you'll have tricked yourself into baking delicious cookies. again, it's all looking away from the fucking phone and looking into life and where nature is in life. That's look inside yourself, see what you can nourish and cause to fully bush. And maybe it's fruit, maybe it's vegetable, maybe it's weavable, maybe it's smokable. Whatever it is, someone might want to consume it. Or you just eat cookies. But if you do something that you're passionate about, chances are, even if you're not looking for a spouse, you know how that is. When you see somebody doing something they love and that's their thing, that's when they're the most charismatic. And you could just be watching a plumber nimbly replace the wax ring beneath your toilet, and there's just something, if he loves it, you'll find yourself thinking, that guy's all right. I don't know what it is, but I like him. That's all I'm saying. Do something you're passionate about and see if you don't end up getting kissed to boot.